Hi folks, hope you're all doing well. This video is actually a response to a conversation that's been going on the Reza forums just recently. Someone was saying that they didn't think the AI was slipstreaming each other at all and thought it needed to be fixed. And I was quite confused by this because one of the reasons I love the AI in Automobilista 2 is that they do slipstream each other, at least from what I've seen. But then again, this person was using Formula cars, whereas I don't use a lot of Formula cars. F3s is about as far as I usually go when it comes to Formula cars. So a lot of people then have been asking on the forums, could someone make a video of the AI slipstreaming each other? So I'm going to attempt to do that now. We're going to use Formula Reza, and it's all the same car, so there's no power advantages, aero differences, anything like that. All the cars are exactly the same. What we're going to do, we're going to start a race here at Daytona. And immediately I'm going to drop out and retire. We're going to go to the monitor screen, get in the cockpit of one of the other AI drivers and see if we can see any evidence of this AI slipstreaming the AI in action. So here we go, we're going to start the race. And from doing a quick test already, I'm going to have to shout because I've realised my volume is set to how I usually have it, but the cars I race are a bit quieter than this, so I'll have to shout. Right, so that's the start of the race. Let's drop out. And we'll go with... who should we go with? Let's go with Mr. Wilson here. Oh. Wilkinson. Jump in the cockpit. We get rid of... Oh, it's so loud. So, let's watch and see what happens. And from running this test already, I can confirm that they do slipstream each other. It's just what they do with that slipstream. They're not quite as clever as humans when it comes to what to do with that slipstream once they've got it. So, I think we're coming around the last couple of tight corners before we come on to the oval section, which is the best place to see this. So, we've got the orange and blue car in front. He's got a better exit out of the corner than we have. So he's now speeding away, but we're right in his toe. So, will we catch up in the AI car that we're riding with? And... do you seem to be getting a little bit of a toe? Yes, we're getting a toe. Yeah, but it's too late because we're at the flip-flop chicane, or the flip-flap chicane. What about down here? Longer bit of oval there. So, he's trying to get a toe off the yellow car, and it's working. And now the blue and orange cars moved right. As soon as he moved right into our path, we got even more of a toe. But he can't get past because he's not going down on the... he could have gone down on the inside, but we got the red car blocking that behind us, so he's just staying behind him. So there you go. He got a toe there for sure. But couldn't really go anywhere because, as I said, you had the red car coming through on the inside. So let's stick with it for one more lap, see what happens. Good overtake by the red car there, I must say. And coming around those last two sharp corners again before the oval section. Right, once again they've got out the corner a little bit quicker than us. But we're right behind three cars, getting up to top speed, and getting a toe, definitely getting a toe. He's going with the red car on the outside, pulled right up to his back bumper there. All these cars exactly the same, so no power differences or anything like that, so that's definitely toe that was giving that extra acceleration. Now what's going to happen here? He's getting a toe off the red car. Will he go for the outside? Yes! Yes, he's going for the outside. And there we go. An example of the AI using the toe to successfully make an overtake. However, the red car's not giving up. But there we go. The perfect example. That couldn't have gone any better. So the AI slipstreaming is definitely working. But I can see why people think it's not, because sometimes they don't always pull out an overtake like this one did there when they're getting a toe. Shall we just let's just see what happens for it. This is quite good fun. One thing I am noticing here, because like I said, I don't race the Formula cars a lot, but the Formula cars are doing way too much rubbing. The term rubbing in racing does not apply to F1. You do not want to touch any part of an F1 car against another part of an F1 car at these speeds because bits fly off. And these AI are doing it quite a lot. The red car, they're getting a better slipstream off of the blue car, but we had a little bit of it, so he's moved to the outside before we can overtake. We've hit the wall. And oh, carnage. There we go. Yeah, the AI definitely not too careful with each other when racing the Formula type cars. Definitely getting a tow again off the white car there, but can't pull out to overtake because we're flanked on both sides by the two orange and blue cars. Getting a tow again. Getting a tow, but it's going to be too late to do anything with. I'm going to stick with it for one more lap because it's actually quite good fun watching the AI do their thing. So right behind the orange and blue car there on the inside, number 5. Coming up to those last two tight corners. Getting past the orange and blue car, but he's still there on the inside. And he's going for it as well. Now he's in the slipstream, and we're going to have to slot him behind here. So yeah, the AI's done that. Slot him behind and getting a tow. Could have moved to the inside there, but he's not. But these two cars in front have kind of moved to the inside. So yes. Oh dearie me. Okay. Going to happen down here. Right, moved right up behind the orange and blue car, and yeah, we're getting a tow. What's he going to do with it though? What's he going to do with it? He could have darted down the inside there. See, this time he's just not used it to make a successful overtake, but he's using it to get right up behind the cars and then used that advantage to try and gain some advantage on the inside round the corner there. So there we go. They are definitely getting tows. It's just that they're not very clever sometimes on using it. I hope that shows it fairly. You know, feel free to disagree, but that's the best evidence I can give you of the AI slipstreaming working. And yet, just for one more example, let's see what happens. The black and white car got a better exit, but we're not too far behind not to get a tow, and we are getting a tow. We're catching up very slightly though. We've moved out of the slipstream ever slightly. Not such a great tow there. What about now? Yep, we're catching up. That's definitely a tow starting there. Definitely a tow starting. We're catching up. What's he going to do with it? He's going for that gap down the middle there. Right, so the AI did try and do something with it there, but too much of a spread of cars to actually get past. Alright, I hope that's proved conclusive maybe, or just helped to further the discussion. I think Fabiano, it was something called Fabiano, something like that, who originally brought this up. I think looking at that we can see that the AI are slipstreaming each other, so it is working, but there does seem to be, you know, they do seem to have a little bit of nervousness or not knowing what to do once they get that slipstream and get right up behind the car. You know, I think you're right, and what they're doing is they're getting up behind a car and they're not pulling out early enough to make a nice smooth slingshot overtake. But they are trying to use it. You can see them trying to use it. There's just still a few problems there. So maybe Reza could look at that. But also the main thing that I think I've just discovered from doing that test, because I mean I don't race a lot of Formula cars, I've done it a few times, but not a heck of a lot, especially the modern Formula cars. And from what I've just seen there, the AI are, the way they're driving the Formula cars, they're acting like touring car drivers. They're rubbing as racing. They're banging wheels all the time. And F1 cars, you know, you watch F1 on TV, they just don't do that. They're very careful, because those F1 cars are pretty damn delicate, you know. And yeah, maybe the AI specifically to those cars could be looked at, tightened up a little bit, and make sure the racing is still close. But yeah, all of they really are. I mean, the AI are absolutely brilliant in this sim with certain cars and tracks, but I think there could be the most important thing that I think I've discovered from that video, and I don't know if you guys agree. Please tell me in the comments what you think. You know, I could always be wrong, but I think, yeah, they could do with less of the rubbing. And also, I might exemplify this in another video. Like I said, the AI are absolutely fantastic at certain cars and tracks. However, Silverstone, the historic version, the 1990s version of it, has curbs that you don't want to mess with. And I really love that track, and I really want to race there, but I can't race there at the moment. I cannot race there, even though it's just had the new seasonal foliage update. I can't race at the 1990s version, because the AI paths direct the AI to use those curves and hit those curves. And you just can't race any cars that have a low ground clearance there, certainly not Formula cars, because they'll hit these curves, which some of the curves literally have a vertical incline to the top of them, and they hit them and bang, front spoiler comes off, they crash, there's cars flipping all over the place. Just can't use that track. I mean, in something like the Opalas, the Chevrolet Opala could probably do it, because they've got high ground clearance, but they just shouldn't be using those curves. So I think the AIW needs looking at around that track maybe. But I'm going to say this, for all the complaining I'm doing here, Rita are doing a fantastic job. They really are, and I'm sure that they will look at these things and perfect them, because they seem really good. I mean, look at the last video I made. They've cleared up 3 bugs, 3 quite serious bugs, just like that. It's all coming on nicely. Anyway, I hope that helps in further discussion. And if you are finding the videos useful, please hit the subscribe button, and you'll get further updates, and that really helped me out. Happy sim racing.